Hey, what's going on? Justin here, and today we are officially just a couple days away from Bricklink Designer Program Series 7 finalists being announced. So what I've done is I've tried to narrow this down as best I can, but even then I could still only get down to 14. Some of these I don't feel as strongly about, but I think because of their uniqueness, they can be made. And then I did leave some of the castles out because they're only going to pick probably one. So I picked a few that I thought were cool and different than things they have done before. And just that's kind of the theme I tried to go with. There were some easy picks, but for reasons I decided that they weren't in my top picks, whether it be a designer who's been picked 3 times already or a design that looks far too similar to other ones. So let's go ahead and take a look at those top sets that I think. And we're going to start with kind of the smallest and work our way to the biggest. So first up, we have the Forest House, and this is by Brick 555. And the reason I chose this is because they tend to do a smaller set, and I do think that this kind of fits that mold, whether it be the Mushroom House or something like that. And they are kind of feeling a little more outdoorsy these days with some of their selections. So I think that this has a chance to be one of these smaller picks, and for no other reason than they tend to do one. It's super unique with a couple little tiny side builds, and that just seems to be a theme that Lego tends to go with. So yeah, I do think that this is a good one. 675 pieces, so it should be a set that's around $50. I think that this is perfect for that. I think it fits that area. Next up, we have Blooming Bouquets. And this one's a little bit bigger, 1,795 pieces, so probably around the $140 range maybe. If it got picked, I think this one is kind of along those same lines. It's something smaller, so they don't have to have nothing but $300-400 price points and high 200s. And I think that this would be, I think it would sell out, especially at that low $100 mark. And that's because it can seamlessly, basically, if you just put this on a 16 by 32 base plate, fit into everybody's city. And I think it would look amazing, even next to basically the Tudor corner, which is the newest one. I think it would look fine, but I think this is going to look good even as a standalone set, maybe next to the little popcorn stand or something like that. So I do think that this is a really cool one. Next up, we have the Lifeguard Tower. I think this would be great. I would absolutely buy this, put it in my city day one, because I need a lifeguard tower, and I think most people do. 873 pieces, not very big, so maybe $69.99, that $70 price point. The biggest pieces are going to be some of these base plate pieces on the, or not base plate, but just plate pieces on the bottom. I think this is awesome, and I think we need something like this. And if they're not going to do it from like that 90s era ideas thing that they were trying to go with, if they're not going to choose the Baywatch one, then I think that this is amazing. And for only 870 pieces, I think it has so much detail and would fit into a lot of people's cities. So I think that this is a great one, and I hope it gets picked. Next up, we have Food Stand Diners, and that's because they can easily do this. They do these little food stands, whether it be with GWPs and the little food trucks or the city line food trucks, things like that. I think this would be awesome, especially in any fairground area or theme park. I would absolutely buy this one as well. 892 pieces, so maybe around $70, maybe $80. I think it's great. You have the fry stand, the burger stand, a shake stand. So they all provide different things. You have this buildable kind of bench right here and a gumball machine on the side or a candy machine. I think it's great. So yeah, another one I think could get picked for that smaller area and that smaller market that they're going for cheaper ones. The next one up is the Tangerine Utopia. The reason I chose this one, again, it goes back to kind of that first one, is it's a unique design, and Lego seems to pick sometimes some odd designs, whether it be the Riverside Scholars or the Mushroom House or things like that. So that's where this could fit in. I think it's cool. Again, Lego tends to pick one of those weird ones that wouldn't sell out, and this would not sell out. 2,500 pieces, maybe around 210, 220 bucks. I think it's cool. I'd pick one up. I wouldn't pick two up. I think it's very unique looking, and maybe that's why Lego picks it. But again, I don't think this would sell out, but I think it's just one of those odd ones that Lego likes to throw in there, in the colors and everything. Next up, we're starting to get bigger, and this is 3,500 pieces, and this is the Mountain Fire Station. And the reason I chose this one is because Lego is also seeming to focus on a lot of outdoorsy stuff. The past couple series, there's been more outdoors types of sets, and I think this is great. There's another brand, Funhole, that has their own fire station, so it would be interesting if Lego picked this, because I would absolutely love to compare them. Granted, they look way different, and one has lights and this one wouldn't, and this one's definitely seemingly bigger. This one looks great, and I think with some of the other kind of foresty type sets, this would just be absolutely amazing. I would absolutely buy this. Next up, the Wayfarer's Village. Now this one is interesting. I don't know if it gets picked because of the steampunk type of build, and those historically just have not been picked for Bricklink designer programs. I think it's super unique, but I just don't know if Lego does this just because of what it is. Like, it just doesn't seem like it's ever something Lego goes and does. I would buy one for sure, and I think it would be very popular because of the kind of steampunk futuristic type vibe, but I just don't see Lego doing it. But I do think this is a really cool one, and it could get picked. Next up, we have the Portal of Shadows. Now this one I've heard a lot of good things about, but I think we've had a previous Portal type one, maybe it was last series or the series before, that did not get picked either. I think this would sell, and I think it would sell well because of just how much I hear people talk about this and how good it is. I think the colors are great. It definitely would stand out on your shelf, and I think it's nice to get something different. You can say it's kind of a castle vibe here on the front. So yeah, I really would like for this to get picked because it's so unique, and there's nothing like it probably on anybody's shelves. So I think this would be great. Next up, with 3,400 pieces essentially, is the Brickwood Manor Hotel. I think this is phenomenal. I would absolutely love this. I missed out on the Haunted Mansion a while back, not the fair ride that goes up and drops down, but the mansion that was like more the sand green color, I think. So I would absolutely love something like this. I hope Lego picks this because it's great, and there's just so much going on. So hopefully we get this. I think it would be around $300, and I think it's really good. Next up, and this one I'm kind of iffy on about. We had a dragon submission last time, didn't get picked. We have one this time. We have two this time. I don't know if they get picked. Lego did just make their own Creator 3-in-1 dragon. So I think by picking this, they're competing with themselves in a sense. And I know this is much, much bigger, 3,000 pieces, than the Creator 3-in-1, but it's still a dragon. I think this would sell out regardless because it does have this little castle build with like a wizard fighting him. And I think it looks great, but I'm not sure if Lego goes the dragon direction with Ninjago doing dragons, the Creator 3-in-1 dragon, but this would hands down be the best dragon build to date. And I think it would probably sell out if they did. Next up, we have the Red Mountain Kingdom. Now this is a castle for sure, and this is one of my favorite castles, and that's because it looks so much different than all the other castles. A lot of the castles look like Lion Knight's castles or things like that, where it just looks like kind of Lego built them themselves. And if we're doing Bricklink, I kind of want something that looks like Lego wouldn't have done it. And with these turrets and different techniques and different shapes and colors on the roof, I think this fits that perfectly. You do get a lot of light bluish gray. So I do think it is very castle feeling, and you get the Lion Knights guys over here, so it could fit in, but it looks so much different that maybe it's an extension of Lion Knights castles where they're definitely somewhere else. This is 4,000 pieces, which is right up to that limit. So this would easily probably be $370, maybe, which is very, very high. But when you look at this picture, you can see it does have some modularity with it being able to open similar to the Lion Knight's castle. So if they did decide to go this route, I think it's a great choice. I really like this one because it looks so different. Next up, we have the Red Rose Castle. I would prefer this one over the other one. It is a whole 26 pieces smaller, but the price point would probably be the same. This one, I think, is just better. I think everything about this one, just like the haunted house type one previously, like I want something like that. This could also be placed near the Lost City one that came out, or other castles, or there's just so much going on here and so much storytelling, it seems like. So I would absolutely love if this one were to get picked because it looks amazing. I just would love to be able to have this one on my shelf. Next up, we have the Elven Haven. Now, this one, again, would absolutely sell well, but we have seen submissions like this one that did not get picked for whatever reason. I think this is phenomenal, and the colors are great, and it's so different. It opens up. This is just peak design. It's 3,971 pieces, so it's right up at that top point. So you're going to be looking at least $370 or so. I think it's just super great. It would be amazing to get this set. And even looking at the first comment, take my money, love this set. I need instructions. Like this one would absolutely sell out at any price point. They could put this at 400 and I think it still sells out. Lastly, we have the Northman Fortress. Now this is a castle, outdoorsy type one. I think it's really cool because of that. It looks like Lion Knights again, mixed with some Vikings or some just woodsmen. I can't tell. That guy's in a pirate torso. So I think it looks great, and I would love to have something like this as well. It looks like it's definitely a castle that got taken over and was just repurposed after it just kind of was abandoned, maybe. I think this one's really cool. Again, near that 4,000 piece threshold, and this one would be amazing to have. So any of those really big ones I'd really like, but if you're telling me to pick one, I'm picking this one because the colors, it's so different. It's not just gray, there's not just green, it's just so much better. So yeah, that's basically my top ones. I hope some of these get picked. I know some of the first ones are of the smaller size, and I think only one of those would get picked, but that's why I kind of threw a couple in there, is because they should pick one, and there are some really good small ones. With the castles, I think too many of them looked similar to things, but with the Lion Knight's castle retiring this year, they could decide to go a direction that, if you're looking at some of the larger castles, like this one, even the Wolf Kings with the wolf head looks amazing. The Highland Manor, the Mountainside Castle, I think a lot of these are really, really good. This one just looks too much like Lion Knight's castle that's retiring to me. And same with this one, the Abandoned Castle. This looks like another one that was chosen previously. This looks like the Zelda Deku Tree. So I think that's a no. This one, the Lions Keep's amazing, but I don't know if they continue to go with Lion Knights in a big way. This one looks like Lion Knight's castle again, even though it's an extension, kind of just a gate. So that's kind of why I went with what I went with. There are some great things. The University of Science is great, but I don't know if Lego goes that direction when they're giving us the art studio or whatever it is in the previous series, and they don't typically want to do modular stuff anymore, or things that can be made modular, it seems. So that's why I went with what I went with. So thanks for watching this video. Here in a couple days, we'll know which 5 are picked, and we will then have to guess on what the prices will be, which will be probably at that 8 to 9 cent price per piece, which is what last series was. So it's not as bad as Star Wars. So people who complain about the price per piece on a Bricklink Designer set, I think that's the wrong way to think about it. I think if you want to, you can think about the quality standard, and maybe that's why it should be cheaper. But price per piece, I don't think it's really an argument. So again, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I am going to make a video when all of the finalists are announced, and I look forward to kind of just talking with y'all. If you guys have a different opinion on any of these, or you guys think something else will be picked, let me know in the comments. I appreciate it, and have a great weekend. Thank you.